You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure.
First off, just to be back. I know you've worked hard to get here. I know how much you love playing. How excited are you for this?
Yeah, I mean, it's never fun being injured. So, happy to be back for sure.
What was the weird play? Like, you were at the net in that game and late, and just your skate caught a rut type thing?
I think we hit each other knees. Just a bad unlucky play, I think.
Oh, so you got hit on the collision, not the landing?
Oh, yeah.
With Ottawa in town, they're a very fast team. For what you bring to the table, that defensive side of the puck, how important is it going to be for you and your teammates to be ready tonight?
Yeah, for sure. They're a great team. Good challenge for us. Just be smart with the puck at those areas we don't want to turn over for sure.
What was your vantage point with the team in Dallas and your view of the Faber overtime winner?
Yeah, great goal. He just shows, I think, what kind of player he is and shifty and holds on to the puck. So, yeah, it was a really important win for us for sure.
So we've seen you out there the last few days. I mean, just how hard have the last few days been? I can imagine you've been pretty eager to get back and get going.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's never fun sitting out not playing. So just happy to be able to skate and get back with the guys. Awesome. Yeah,
Thank you.
All systems go for Eriksson. How great will it be to get him back?
That'd be nice, yeah. It was nice that he had the full practice yesterday. Feels good. So getting him back obviously is always a benefit. I think just who he is as a player, who he is as a guy, what he means to our team. So it's good.
And also net front on the power play. I mean, that is, even though Rusty's done a good job, it just feels like your power play has been a bit of a funk.
Yeah, Eki's a big part of that. I think face-offs is one too. On that left side, he's good on the draws, his net front presence. But one of the things that's underrated on the power play with him is his puck recoveries. Mm-hmm. He can, whether it's rebounds at the net front or anytime he's got to leave net front to go retrieve pucks, he does. He's such a hard competitive player that he keeps a lot of plays alive for the power play.
Mm-hmm. Most of the team's tough times have been since he's been out, John. Like, is there any correlation, just the value that he has and how unique his role is, that when he's not in there, you feel it and it's tough to overcome?
Yeah, Eki, it does speak to the value that he brings, and even a little bit deeper than that. I think that he's a player that you rely on in a lot of key situations. Face-offs being one of them at all critical moments. Power play, as we just talked about, penalty kill, 5-on-6, 6-on-5. Like when you 3-on-3, 4-on-4. So when you look at all these other components just outside of the 5-on-5, he plays a key role in a lot of those situations. And the other thing for me is I do believe that he's a player that can help drive a line. So as a centerman, he plays a certain style of game that I think is very conducive to having his wingers, play a certain style too that's usually conducive to winning.
Obviously, it looks like an option out there. Philip Gustafsson, okay though, just taking the option.
Yes, yep. Phil will be in tonight.
He'll start tonight.
Yeah.
With your defenseman getting involved in the offense, knowing that right now you got to play without Kirill, you've played without Ek, how much confidence does that give your group when, especially your forwards, when they know the defenseman can chip in?
It's really important, and I think there is lots of times a strong correlation. I think when you go through the league, lots of times of playoff teams, points by defensemen, and I think when you look in the league, because it's so hard to score, being able to have line rushes where you have a 3- and 4-man attack, so you have to defend the 3 guys that are coming up, and there's also a late player coming. So it's something that we continue to stress, but right now, I'd say particularly in the last 2 games, it's been a factor of being able to get out of our own end with good breakouts or coming out of D-zone coverage, and when you can do that somewhat cleanly, that does allow your forwards to be your D-men to be able to join the rush. And then same thing in the offensive zone. I think being able to deliver point shots and accessing those guys more and those guys coming through is important for the team. But it's also a certain, I think it's a style of game that you need to continue to move forward to generate offense. As the league gets tighter and harder as the year continues to go on, you have to have those 4- and 5-man units attacking offensively.
Every game you start from zero. Obviously, every game is a fresh slate, but how much do you want them to keep the feeling of that Dallas game in their minds, of that, digging down deep late in the game on the road with everything against them and what it took to come back and win a game like that? Can that kind of carry a team, that kind of memory?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's. I think we've done that numerous times this year, whether it's scoring 6-on-5 or coming from behind. But particularly in that game, I think in under the circumstances is certainly something that we'll continue to draw from. I think any time that you win, it gives you confidence in what you're doing. But to me, the big one in that was. I think early in the game you can say, well, it wasn't very good because you didn't have a lot of shots, but we also didn't give up a ton. They didn't generate a ton. We didn't generate a ton. They had more shots. They got off to the early lead, but I like the fact that we stayed with it and we stayed with what we needed to do to go into the game. We needed to execute it better, and we were able to do that, and I think that's a big lesson coming out of that one.
We don't see a lot of the Senators. Did you watch any of their game yesterday? It's a team that seems like they've been playing some pretty good hockey despite the loss.
Yeah, I did. I watched the full game and was going to go into it. And after watching them in the first period, I had to have a glass of wine and say, okay, this is going to be a big one. But yeah, no, I mean they're a good team. They're fast. They're skilled. They're playing really well. Both special teams looked good. So they're going to be a lot. And they're playing. I think as of right now, they're one of the hotter teams in the league. And when you watch them play the style of game, then we're going to have our hands full tonight.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.